This thing is hot as hell. uh, post, post. Haha. Yes. Um. Hey everyone. Um. I mean, people. I'm pretty sure people haven't come in yet. Oh, wait. Let me. Since I'm here, let me do this. Twitch slash chat. And I can just, dang it, I can just do that. And yeah, yep. I mean, it's not as clean, but yeah. Um, yeah. So everyone, um, I'm Chad. I'm Chad. Intros, yes. So, I'm ChadRStewart. I'm a software engineer from Kingston, Jamaica, and I'm mostly a front-end engineer. Um, yeah, I'm mostly a front-end engineer, but I want to delve more into back-end engineering, and so this is my attempt to do that. So, the stream mainly focuses on me kind of wrestling with back-end engineering as a discipline, and so I'm kind of going through and learning the basics. You know what I mean? Um, so for I mean for anybody who pops in, well, first of all, the stream is not at 9 in the morning or 9 EST in the morning anymore. The stream is at 6 p.m. EST. It's 9 a.m., 6 p.m. So stream is at 6 p.m. EST. It is 6:07 currently. Um, what else did I want to say? Yeah, so the stream is at 6 p.m. Um, it'll it will be the same format minus 30 minutes for coding. So 30 minutes for intro, hour and 30 for coding, um, and then an hour for just a general discussion before the stream ends. So the idea for having the stream at 6, I should talk about that, is technically my what I envision my audience to be is the United States. Pretty much, yeah, the United States and Canada, and pretty much people in, like, I guess around this time, around in this area. And streaming at 9, all of those people are at work, and by the time they even get to like break, and break is not necessarily a best time to stream anyway, but by the time they get to break, um, the stream is ending. You know what I mean? And the stream has gone on for a while. So to solve that problem, I have decided to stream at 6 in the afternoon, which is in essence prime time. So people are off work or coming off work or at home, and the stream lasts for a fair amount of time. And so in essence, I'm just kind of targeting that time. So that's the reason why I'm streaming at 6. To be quite honest, I'm more of a morning person than a afternoon evening person, or evening person, sorry. Um, which is why I initially did the stream at 6 at 9 in the morning, because I felt like I was more awake. But we're gonna try streaming around this time. I'm gonna see how things work out. So last week we wrestled with Node a little bit, Node and MySQL. We wrestled with a bunch of things actually, but we wrestled mainly with Node and MySQL. Got that working. Finally, that was a good thing to kind of end on. And now we're getting back into it. We're going to so right now we have a very basic node application. Very basic node application. More or less everything is in one file. And really and truly the routes don't really do much. They're like test routes. Um so we're gonna try and flesh that out a little bit more. To be quite honest, I am not necessarily sure how that's going to work. Like I didn't have the best game plan for that. Um, so more than likely what's going to happen, I have a node project that is significantly more fleshed out. So I might kind of look to it for inspiration. But for the most part, I'm probably going to be doing that and looking to the stream for inspiration on how to move forward. Um, hopefully, hopefully you know, hopefully I can make some progress. Like ultimately, the kind of goal for the API is to have some middleware that connects to what we have for our backend and in the way that we want, and we are able to create to-dos, create a user and create to-dos, and then we will go from there. That's pretty much the goal right now. Um, a few other things as well. If you're, I guess, if you're watching this on YouTube, you well, if anybody noticed, there was some messages when the stream started, in the little stream chat thing here that I have in the corner. I installed Nightbot, and so there's a bunch of commands which will, I guess, also show up on stream, which I should do something about eventually. But there's a few things. So I don't think I have schedule. I don't think I need schedule, but I don't even remember all the commands that I made. But so like for instance, socials, um, and it's just all the stuff, my social media stuff, and then every so often it will pop up and say, hey, remember to follow the stream. But this is the stuff that I felt is really important. This is actually the stuff that was on screen initially, when the stream started, is all of the all of the notes that I've taken so far. So pretty much the game plan, and it's all open, and the git and the repo that I am committing to, which I guess I will push at the end of the stream so that you can follow along. It doesn't necessarily have like a README to allow you to install the app, but it's just kind of to see the progress in the with the code that we've written, mainly for people to critique it and so on and so forth. So it's there for people to kind of view the progress. Um, hey, what's up, Jason? What's up? Just starting the stream. Just just starting the stream, talking about like some of the stuff that I did. Like, if you notice, there's a Nightbot, and it has like a bunch of stuff. I don't remember all the commands that I made. Like the things that I was most focused on was the stream docs, and having this thing that kind of rotates around and says follow the channel. I also tried to set up what you call it. I also tried. Oh, hey, how you doing? Motyak, Motyak. Hey, what's up? What's up? Thank you for popping into the stream. Really appreciate it. Thank you for popping in, and thank you for for saying something in the stream. I really appreciate it. Um, but I hope I pronounced your name properly too. That could actually is that no, that's definitely a zero. That's not a sorry. That's definitely an O, not a zero. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of talking about what I'm going to attempt to do um to today. But yeah, like I set up some stuff with Nightbot. I think there's a way to list all the say Motiak. Cool. Motiak. That's interesting. Mo Motiak, Motiak, Mo. I'm I'm sorry. I'm terrible at this. Really bad. I'm sorry. I do my best. Multi-yak, Mao cow, multi-yak. Okay, cool. But yeah, I set up a bunch of stuff for Nightbot, and I also tried to set up like there you go. There it is. That's what I tried to set up. Like, so I have Streamlabs as well as a bot. Thank you for the follow, by the way, K2052. It also shows up in the stream as well. I feel like I should do something about that. I kind of don't want to, but whatever. I'll probably like leave Streamlabs because then Streamlabs can say, "Hey, thanks for the follow," and then what you call it, Nightbot won't show up because I have a bunch of like big ass text. But yeah, so I set up a bunch of bots. Yeah. Hey Alexandria. I was also struggling with my bot. Yeah, like so I initially was gonna try and get Nightbot to do the follow the follow alert, and it you had to get a bunch of stuff. By the way, thank you Alexandria for coming into the stream. I really appreciate it. Um Thanks. But yeah, like you had to do a bunch of things. You had to get like keys and stuff like that. And then after you get those keys, then you had to like set up a Ajax thing. Thank you. But yeah, you had to set up like a Ajax request. I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that correctly. It's been a while. I actually recognized it. I was like, man, this is old ass Ajax. Cool. I haven't written this in years. um, but yeah. Also, yes, my moderator was telling me it was too much for me. Yeah. So, what I learned, so what made you want to learn back-end engineering? Give me a second. I will answer that in a moment before, like, give me a second. Let me answer that. Let me just kind of finish. So Streamlabs does it out of the box with this thing called Chatbot with CloudBot. Yeah, it does it out of the box. Like all you have to do is turn it on, and then you just have to turn on the features you wanted. Which for now it was just the follow stuff. And I'd already set up Nightbot, so I didn't want to like do the whole Nightbot thing. Or I didn't want to set up all the commands through Streambot, so I just have the two of them working. But yeah, like stream the cloud bot from Streamlabs does does pretty much that. So yeah, like it's really easy. Didn't have to think about it. Don't have to maintain it either because apparently the Nightbot thing you have to maintain it a little bit. But yeah, uh comes works right out the box. And yeah, the only thing is I couldn't test it, so like literally that message is the first time. I'm kind of happy to see it. Anyways, to answer your question, Motiak. I don't know if you're supposed to say Motiak. Anyways, the to answer your question, the reason why I want to learn backend engineering is mainly because out of interest. I just I always kind of I liked all manner of things. I like all manner of things. So like my interests are all over the place. Um, I really wanted to learn it mainly because I kind of want to be a full stack engineer. I in essence am, but like a lot of the stuff that I know is really old, and either is not popular or it's just my skill set is fairly old. And so I was doing, excuse me, I was doing front end professionally until I left my job, and that's pretty much where I got where my the most of my skill set is. And so I wanted to make an effort to learn backend engineering, and just because there's a lot of stuff that's interesting in that space, so I wanted to just kind of go to my way to learn it. But that's really it. Yeah, that's really it. Like, it's just something interesting to me to learn, and I do want to feel confident about calling myself a full stack engineer. And so, like, I'm just refreshing my skills as best as I can. So, but yeah, like that's kind of the idea right now. Um, I wish I might actually take the time to kind of figure out what I'm going to do exactly, like to kind of break down how I'm going to progress. Because to be quite honest, I'm a little bit lost. To be honest, I don't want to say I'm lost, but I'm a little bit nervous about the stream because the other streams I kind of had a game plan. I kind of was like, oh, this is what I wanted to do, and with API design, it's not nearly as fleshed out. So like for instance, what I like about backend is that you can see it as simply exposing some local service slash program as a server to remote clients. Yeah, yeah, like yeah. I mean, I kind of want to. I want to architect systems eventually, like as a part of my career at some point, you know. Like that's something that I'm really interested in. Um like I keep saying back-end engineering as like a placeholder for like the entirety of the discipline. Because I don't know necessarily. I don't know what I want to focus on right now. I know that I would struggle to build a CRUD application, at least the back end of a CRUD application, and so I want to work on that. But I say back end engineering a lot because I really, it's as a placeholder, as I just want to kind of learn this stuff. And I mean, the stream is here for me to learn back end engineering, but I do plan on learning other technologies, and it's really just kind of me streaming my attempt to learn stuff, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me actually go into, because I have some notes here. Let me go into some of the things I have here. Um, yeah. So let me go here. So it's just, yeah, this is kind of like my basic game plan. You can pull that up by doing by using like exclamation point. Is it exclamation point? Yeah, exclamation point stream docs, and it will give you the link to all of these docs. They're all in a Google Docs file. You can't edit them, but you can view them, and you can actually kind of give your input. um, but pretty much this whole thing is just kind of build a CRUD application. Eventually, I want to get to being able to launch it. Obviously, I have to build it first. Um, and then a bunch of other things that we kind of use as success criteria for me feeling comfortable about doing at least basic full stack stuff. Technologies that I'm oh right technologies is one of the technologies is one of the things that one of the commands that exists, like tech stack, I think. Anyways, technologies, let me make the stream here. I see you have a clear idea of what you want to learn. Yeah, yeah. I am a very selfish programmer. I program mainly for myself. Yeah, I don't know, like I don't even know what I would be if I were to kind of consider myself. I don't know if I don't know if I would call myself selfish, but I don't think I would call myself like I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how I would view myself in that sense. But yeah, I tried to kind of have a clear view of what I want to learn and how I want to learn it. Or I tend to spin my wheels a lot, so I try to like I like in the what you call it phase. Um, I try to figure out every as much as I can so that I don't have to think about it as I'm going through it. Have you seen the web dev guide from Travesty Media on YouTube? I have not. Actually, sorry, I have. I might not have seen this year's, but I have seen his videos on that. Um, he kind of gives an overview of what to learn, but it's more about, I don't know. It's more about technologies. Well, yeah, but it's not necessarily how to learn them, but he has like other videos on his page. So even if you decide to say, for instance, learn Node, you could just literally look up another video on his page and you'd find that. Yeah, it's like a huge overview. It's like what technologies exist and how they exist. And anyways, let me go back into this. So the project that I'm doing is a to-do app. I kind of mentioned this a few times. It's a to-do app. It's just a basic CRUD RESTful application with user authentication baked in. We already kind of built the database for it. This is something else I want to do in the future, making a website for Tech is Hiring. So for those who don't know, I administrate a hashtag Tech is Hiring. I administrate that hashtag, and which in essence means which is a hashtag for if anybody's looking for opportunities or anybody has opportunities they want to share, you can tag a tweet with Tech is Hiring, and it'll make it easier to find all of these opportunities. There's a fair amount of them there now, and there's a Twitter bot for it, and it kind of acts like a list of all of these opportunities. But I want to make a website that will, in essence, kind of show the top tweets, top as in the latest tweets. Um, yeah. But that's in the future, and this is kind of the stuff that I want to do. So like basic RESTful design. This is where we're at. We did all the database stuff. The idea was to start from learning how to get information in and out of the database, um, through the database technology. And then yeah, and now we're actually going to put that into practice through an API. Um, so like the first thing I have here is explore MVC as a design pattern, which I guess works out because what you call it? Uh, how do I put it? Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not as knowledgeable as I should at MVC. I don't want I seriously want to call it Marvel vs. Capcom, but that's model view controller. So probably mess around with that. Maybe build database queries myself. Yeah, like I don't have this as fleshed out, so I might actually take some time to do that. But that's kind of the idea. And this is just where my stream notes, where I just kind of put the random thoughts I have during the stream. And I can just kind of refer to it. We have a schema here. I'll show you the schema. This is the schema that we ended up using. Um, where we have a user table, a to-do list table, a reference table, and then every time we create a to-do list, then it will create its own table. That's kind of the idea right now. Um, and so yeah, the table exists. It's a MySQL database. I don't necessarily have to spin this up, but yeah, it's a MySQL database. It's running, um, and we can connect to it. And so this is the project. It's online. If you're interested, you can again use !stream docs, and you will get the repo and all of this code. I think minus one thing. I think I made one change that I hadn't committed um, is up there right now. It's pretty bare bones, but yeah. So what I will also do, let me put the stream chat back. What I will also do, what paradigm are you willing to learn first? Relational, document oriented, or so I'm learning relational because I have some knowledge with relational data. I guess I mentioned that, but I'm learning relational right now because I've done work with relational databases and I'm more familiar. The next paradigm I'm going to learn is document oriented, and to be honest, I don't know too much about graph-oriented databases, but thank you very much for for bringing that up because in fact I let me let me actually write this down. Um, thank thankfully. So look into the three database paradigms. Paradigms. Um, and then I will do relational uh, document and graph. Um, this is, let me just, that is not what I wanted. I keep, oh, right, I forgot to set this. I might have to, yeah, I'm just going to go to my chat, my page really quickly and pop the chat out from there. Uh, where is this? What is this? Oh, mod view. Anyways, pop the chat out from there, cause then I can keep this always on top, and then I can close this, and I can just put this down here and make it smaller so that it's less annoying. Yeah. There are more than three, but there are the three main into into these database paradigms. That's fine. There are more than three, but they're the three main with key value type Redis. Yeah, I to be honest, a lot of this is kind of Greek to me. A lot of this is stuff that I probably have to read on my own. I don't want to kind of read it on stream. I already did that with database normalization, and I don't think that was particularly interesting for anybody. Um, but like I really appreciate all the you just even letting me know about this stuff. Um, like for the most part, all of this is alien to me, and just kind of people letting me know that these things exist is really important because then I can just kind of go, yeah. I recommend learning document and relational might be complicated, but since you already learned it in the past, that's a good tool. Yeah, yeah. Like I would have started with document SQL requests. Yeah, and PL uh what is it? PL/PG SQL language. I have no idea what that is. Um but yeah, like I would have started with a document database um if what you call it if I had literally no database experience. Since they're just kind of easier to use. But starting with relational, and that's fine. And I mean, it's not like we can't swap the database technology out once the API is done. This is all exploratory. Um, anyhow, like I said, let me go bring up the last project that I did. I think it was Twitter dash to dash do. All right, let me just go to my GitHub slash Chad Stewart. Uh oh, what's up, Demetrius? What's up? This is a good friend of mine, Demetrius Keenan. He's in Florida. Um good friend of mine. I've known him for years. Just coming to what you call it. Just coming to support the stream. Uh, he has a shop open. I do not know why the name is blanking on me, but he Demetrius, put the shop in the actually. Let me before you do that. Let me mod you. That is, let me see, where's it? Add friend. No. Oh right, mod. Sorry. Uh, mod. That's not mod. Grand. No. Yeah. So no, you're mod Demetrius, but I just mod everybody. Like I just mod everybody I know that are my friends. But yeah, like put your link in the chat. Um, like sells custom like cases with cool ass design. Yeah, sort of pop. Yeah. Custom cases with like interesting designs, uh cases, phone cases, bags, apparel, all that kind of stuff. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Definitely check it out. Definitely really good stuff. Yeah, no problem, man, no problem. I need to figure out how to actually make somebody be able to post links without having to mod them because that's going to be annoying. Anyways, my repo. Where's the Twitter to do app? Okay, so this is um the one of the initial commits for this app is pretty much this thing. And so I am going to, I guess I'm just kind of go through it, and I'm gonna kind of, I don't want to say mimic, but because I don't really have a game plan written for which I probably need to spend some time doing, like I said, I don't really have a game plan for this. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. I probably should. I'll probably like by the end of the stream, considering how this stream goes. Oh, actually, let me set up my clock so that I don't so that I take a break when I'm supposed to. Give me one sec. Okay, cool. Um, actually, let's move some stuff out of the way. By the way, can you guys see me? Like, I don't have the best lighting here, and generally when I was streaming, I just used natural light. I guess you guys can see me. In fact, I think the lighting is kind of better um than when I when I let me move this back a little bit. Hopefully, it's not so bad. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I can see. Yeah, lighting's actually, yeah, lighting seems fine to me. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, I'm just making sure, like, this is literally the first time I've streamed at night. Obviously, it's not the first time I've done any form of like zooming in at night. Yeah, you're not that. Damn, Will. You not even a hi or anything, just came in and just started talking crap. Damn! What an asshole. Jesus. No, I mean, like I streamed and there was point not stream, sorry. I was doing like Zoom and there was points where I had the light on, but I didn't look that illuminated, so I just wanted to make sure. You know what I mean? Like that was actually my biggest worry about moving to streaming at night. I just felt like I wasn't going to have good lighting, and I don't know how to, I didn't have any way of fixing that. Anyhow, um, so I guess the thing is I will try to set up some routes. Um, and hmm, I'm just looking over at this thing that I did. Uh, love you too, Will. But yeah, I'm just looking at this thing that I did. Um, mainly because I have no clue what I'm doing. Uh, oh, thanks for the follow, Will. Yeah, this is so useful. Thank you, Streamlabs. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. because now I can actually engage with people when they actually follow. I had like a bunch of followers who followed me, and I just didn't know. The only time I would know is, and you know what? Let me not even get into that. The only time I would know is if they emailed me. Anyhow, uh, let me do the silly thing here and just kind of put this here and put this. Nope, that's not what I want. And put this here. Stream. The stream chat is now blocking things, and I'm just gonna put the stream chat. Oh God, I need another extra monitor. Yeah, so I guess we will set up routes. That'll be the first thing that I do. Um, I don't even know how I would play with this in the first place. Oh yeah, so this project used MongoDB, so we're just using Mongoose, whereas this project uses MySQL. Request data type. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of set up routes here. So initial landing, new entry. I think I can just delete these. First route go to. I think I can delete this as well. I think that was from the previous project. Like I had somebody who was kind of helping me through it, and when I'd gotten the file, he had just mentioned that he was just trying to be helpful. You know what I mean? So he had like a bunch of comments. That's the reason why the comments are here in the first place. At least a lot of them are here in the first place. Um, what do you use as a client for interacting with the API for the moment? Um, so I would usually use Postman. I don't have Postman installed currently because this is actually a fairly new machine. I've had it for like a week. I know that I kept seeing a bunch of people say that you can actually do this with like an extension in VS Code. So I might end up getting that later. Um, but I'm being super brain dead about it. Maybe I shouldn't say brain dead. But I'm being super like I don't know, you know. Yeah, the VS you know what? What is the VS Code extension? And I will install it right now. I have no clue what it is. I just keep seeing people talk about it. What is the VS Code extension, if you don't mind me asking? And I'm just going to keep saying it until somebody responds. What's the VS Code extension? Somebody let me know. Uh, I just don't want to guess. Actually, since REST client, thank you. So I don't have a lot of extensions here. I feel like I'm one of those people that just kind of whatever comes in out the box, I just kind of use it, unless somebody makes a suggestion. REST client, cool. Oh, it's new, but people love it. Damn. Installed. So let me go through the. I'm not going to be able to go through all of this. I'm just going to install it. Cool. If push comes to shove, is there a way of? I'd like to put this in like uh, is there a way of getting this? Let me give me a second. Please tell me we'll go back. It won't go back. The saddest of faces. Um, let's see. REST client. REST client. I just want to have nope. REST client VS Code. VS Code Marketplace. Okay, cool. I just want to have this up so that I can just kind of refer to it. Um, by the way, if you came for super duper awesome, um, amazing programming, you came to the wrong place. Thunder Client maybe. I guess if anything, if REST Client doesn't work out, I can use Thunder Client. I already installed something. Oh right, so the guy's name is Robert. Condrad, Roger Condrad, the guy who helped me initially with trying to learn this stuff. So it's kind of based off of stuff that he wrote. Anyhow, let me go back to this. So I guess we'll, like I said, we'll set up routes. Initial, oh, initialize. I have no idea how to spell initial. Lies routers. Is there anything require? Let's see. Require path. Where's path coming from? Where is path coming from? That's really strange. Where's path coming from? Uh, let's see. Give me a sec. That's just the readme. View code. Is there utils? Is there a path? No. Where is path coming from? That's really strange. Path? Nope. It's not a package. What? Let's see. Models. Nope. Controllers. Let me just go with routes. Maybe. Nope. I have no idea what path is. Man, I feel like I should have because this is the view engine. Use routes app dot. All right. I'm not going to worry about that from now. I'm going to let it blow up. uh, Works like Postman. It adds a new tab. You where you can input HTTP request. You know what? Let me mess with both of them since this is a mess with both of them. This is a exploratory stream. What is it that I wanted to do? Thunder client. I don't mind messing with either. Um, yeah, significantly less. I guess I'll keep it disabled for now. Actually, no, sorry. Let me keep them and both of them enabled. Anyways, sorry if it's a little bit boring. I am literally just kind of trying to come up with stuff as I'm working. Um, I'm not as what you call it. I'm not as let me see. Use routes. Use routers, sorry. I'm not as organized in learning APIs as yet, so I'm just kind of getting my sea legs back. Oh, and I need to have the stream chat up. On the left, the thunder icon. There it is. Okay. Oh yeah, this feels a lot like Postman. Yeah. So, all right. So we have to-dos. We have index. We have to-dos. We have index, and we do we need an index? When we build React, um, when when we build a React application, I'll make the index anyway. So, oh, do we need body parser? I think we do need body parser. I remember this being an issue before. Const body parser. And I think I need to install it. So require body parser. So I will do that. npm install body parser. Let me move this a little bit. Oops, that is not what I wanted. Um, Parser. Hmm. I just realized I don't think Nightbot is I don't think Nightbot is what you call it is doing the thing where it says, hey, follow everybody. I guess, you know, things, like what you call it. Sorry. It's just it's new stuff, so you get the kinks out and all that. It's not that big of a deal. Like it's more important for me to be able to see people as followed than um to see people as followed rather than trying to convince people to follow. Okay, so cool. So we have body parser. I know I have .env, express. We have API and npm. Why is npm installed? All right, whatever. That's whatever. So go back to server. Um, go back to server. It's gonna take me like 10 years to actually write this stuff. I still don't know what path is, but anyways, so I'm just going to do the initial routes here. Okay, so I'm going to const index router equals require um, dot routes index. Cool. So that's the index router. I still don't think we need that, but I'm gonna have it there for the moment. To do router, ironically, it's the same thing. Require, and I'm just mostly typing just to kind of get the muscle memory. Not necessarily muscle memory back to it's most mainly for muscle memory. I could easily just copy and paste this stuff since it's the exact same thing, but initialize request data type. I know that there were a bunch of issues for this when I was working on this the last time, and so um, it doesn't look for JSON um, request data type. It doesn't look for JSON initially, so you have to set it up to do so. Express.json um, app.use body parser.json. Why does it do that? That's interesting. I've never. What is this? Body parser is deprecated. The declaration was marked as deprecated here. Ooh, that is a problem. Um, hmm, body parser.json. That's so. All right, let's look into that then. Um, I think I'm gonna need a new window. I think I'm gonna need a new window. Yeah, let me pull up a new window here. That is behind. All right, cool. So, body parser deprecated. Okay, cool. Actually, could you give me 1 second? I am going to use the bathroom. I will be right back. I have returned. Where were we? Body parsers deprecated in Express. Um, alright, so I am going to figure out, do I really need, um, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to invest too much time into this. Yeah, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Well, I need to bring back this thing. Nope, that's not what I want. I need to bring back this thing. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Um, yeah, pretty much whenever the app actually yells at me, then I will worry about fixing it. Earl encoded. I really should not be just typing this thing stuff out without knowing what I'm doing. Extended as I continue to do that, ignoring my own advice. Ah, man. Ta 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 ta. Yeah, and then I guess I'll just set up the use routes here. Let me just, so app, uh, oh, yeah, app.use, slash, here, index, router, and then app.use, slash, API, slash to do. I think, is there, let's see, where is it? To do router. Um, dot routes dot. We do need something for user. We do need something for user. Okay, so we need a user route. We need a user router. Const user router equals require, which will probably be the more interesting part of all this. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Um, for right, well, I mean, I think the API has to do the encoding for like passwords and stuff like that. User or the encoding. I don't know if this is the right statement, but in essence, the stuff for passwords to so that it's saved in in the database as not as plain text. Sorry. Uh, this is, yeah. So API user, and then use user router. Yep. So that's set up. Doesn't mean any of this stuff works though. So um I guess let's make the folders. I don't remember. Let me see the let me go back and review the folder structure. So it's views. Well, we're not gonna have views. We're gonna have a React application be the view. Wait, is that right? Yeah, we're gonna have a React application be the view. So controllers, models, routes. So do we need models? I'm gonna make models anyway. It can remain empty for now. So we need models. Um, we need routes. We need controllers. And I'm going to make a utils file. Utils for now file folder for now. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. This line bothers me so much. Well, we'll figure it out. So, when I first did this, the basic thing that we did is we made a routes. We made routes, and we actually put the controller in the routes. So I'm going to do that initially instead of actually putting it in controllers, just to make sure that I have all this down, and um mostly to figure out if we need body parser or not. Um, so wait, why is body parser deprecate? You know what? I think it's because it's in Express. It's natively in Express. Well, we will figure it out in the next few minutes. But yeah, I'm just going to make the routes. Um, and then I'm just literally going to put the controllers right in the routes. The controllers aren't going to do anything. They're just going to be like, I don't know. They're just going to send like, oh, I don't know. Like if you whatever. They're just not going to do anything for the most part. Um, I just want to kind of make sure that I have all this correct. Um, and I have no idea how I'm going to quote unquote play around with MVC as a design pattern, but I'm going to give something a shot, I guess. Uh, but yeah, so in routes, we have the index route, new file, I think it's index.js, yes, index.js. Um, so const express equals require express, and this is so that you can use the framework. Const router equals express dot router. So I'm assuming this is the router that's built into Express. Const index. Oh yeah, we're not going to have the controller yet. So route dot get um slash yeah, so index dot controller index underscore redirect. um this is a function. Okay, so let me go to index. I know that one of the things that I did was I redirected to something. It was just something that bothered me. So let me just go check index controller. So index underscore redirect equal, okay, request response. Um response is redirect to slash home, and then let's see. Okay, and then back to routes. Um, Let me open this up in a new tab, and then I will go here and I open this up. Okay, routes. So yeah, so it's slash. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it would just send it to home, and then yeah. So here. Hmm. Okay. Sorry if this is kind of boring. This is just yeah. Sorry if this is kind of boring. Um, yeah. Feel free to make noise in the chat. Just run around in circles. Entertain yourselves as I sit here and try to be a smarty smart pants, you know, unsuccessfully. But yeah, so this is just sends it to home. I'm gonna do the same thing. Actually, I'm not going to make a redirect, so I am just going to have, where's the controller? Yeah, this is it. So I'm just going to have this. So async request. All right, so we have two parameters. We have the place that we want to go, and then we have the function that we want to run when we get that target, that address. So the function that we want to run is um, contains whoops, request, response. I don't remember why they're in this order. Um, and then we do that. Um, request response. And then what do we want to send as a response? I guess we want to return a response of status 200. Um, okay. Return response. Hmm. What did I have before? What did I have before? All right, give me a second. Let me go through this. That's all the stuff. And this is the first thing that I did. Oh, wait, whoops. I want to actually view the files. Wait, no. How do you view the, all right. Issues? No. Project. Whoops. Okay. I think this is, no. Man. All right, cool. Yep, browse files, thank you. And so I just want to check something real quick. Home request send. All right, fine. Uh, so the status and then send, and I will just go with this. Oh, right. So that's the index. So if we ping the server from there, we should get a response with just that text. Um, Let me set up the other route as well, really quickly. What is it called? The route. So we'll just set up the to-do route. Uh, to do. No, don't do that. .js. Um, Where's the server? Set up a to-do route, and then we will set up the user route. Um, user.js. And they're just going to be basic. Let's see. So here we just require express and router.get from this path. We just need to make sure. So const express equals require um, express const router, is it called? Did I call it router? Index router equals express.router equals express.router, and it's a function, and then router dot get. Yeah, we'll just make them all gets. API slash this is to do. Yeah, so API slash to do slash test. Let's go with slash test. Slash test. So that's the address. And then the function, request, response, and then we'll just send a response of status 200 dot um, dot send to do Okay. Um, is there any other? Because I need to make sure that I have these routes properly. Okay, yeah. So it uses to do router. Oh, we have to okay, we import index router requires routes index. Okay. So we just get the file and then we label all the stuff in it. Index router. Just making sure. Um, yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Bob. Okay, cool. So again, good practice. Express equal require express this ES5 const router equal express dot router um and then router dot get yes API user test and again um let's see request response uh, response status 200. I don't even think I need to do all of them. I just want to make sure that they all exist. Send um what is it? User test successful. And so I can just use my browser to get all this stuff. All this stuff has been updated. Cool. Server. Let me just make sure that I have all the routes. Yep, all the routes. Oh, I have to export all of them. Thank you for checking. And I don't think I've been closing these. I don't have to, but I'm a stickler for that. Module.exports exports equal router. Why do we have to export router specifically? Um, it's really strange. Module.exports equal router. Save. And then this one already has that. Module.exports equal router. Save. Okay, actually, is this working? Whoops, that is not the button I wanted. Okay, cool. Yes, it works. Okay, cool. Uh, cool beans. All right, so let's try to run this. npm start. Ooh, something is upsetness. What is upset? Cannot find module express with two S's. Where is this located? Uh, one of them has express with three S's. Sorry, two S's. Three. Save. Just make sure that I have all that right. Cool. Uh, body parser undefined. Hmm. Where do I have body parser? So let me save this. Oh, right. Actually, shouldn't be using npm start. Let me not do that. What is it? It's package.json is no daemon, right? Um, npm dev or npm run dev, run dev. Yep, that should work. And so yeah, where is body parser being used? Body parser is here. So let's take this out to try and All right, so let's see if this works. It's on localhost. Whoops. So it works still. Um, so why did I put path? All right, anyways, slash API slash to do slash test, I think. Can't get to do slash test. Let me see. To do slash test. Why does that not work? That is weird. API slash to do slash test. What did I do that's different? Yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't return any of this. I didn't return any of this at all. Is that my clock telling me that I need to? Yep, that's the clock telling me that I need to take a break. So I'm just gonna check this stuff out. All of them are being returned now. And so this should return, no, sad face, doesn't. All right, let me try to do user. Oh, wow. All right, well, either way, I will figure that out in a moment. Uh, Give me 1 second. Again, the bathroom, she calls. One moment, please. Okay, I'm back. Um, all right, so for people who are new, this is kind of the part of the stream where I just kind of take a bit of a break. Let me actually go. Yeah, I just take a bit of a break. So I actually have like it's a Pomodoro timer, and so literally it's set for like 10 minutes, which is usually how much time I take breaks. But because of the new kind of stream time, instead of going for like 50 minutes or an hour and then taking a break for 10 minutes, I go for 40 minutes and then I take a break for 10 minutes. And then I go for another 40 minutes. Then I take a break for 10 minutes. And then we have we try to have a discussion. Um Pretty open-ended. But yeah, like so you guys can't see me mainly because I don't want to just kind of be standing and you're just seeing my stomach. Like that's kind of weird. So, but I'm kind of standing and I'm just kind of stretching. I really advise people to do this. Like, you don't want to be sitting all day. So, to be honest, and I say this all the time, or not say this all the time. I say this every time this comes up, but this kind of comes from I don't know if you know Angela. Damn it, I'm gonna call her Davis again. This is from Scooter Phoenix on Twitter. Excuse me. Scooter. Yeah, this is from Scooter Phoenix. On Twitter. Uh, she works at Red Hat, but she talks about like making sure that you get up and you stretch all the time. Like it's something that she does all the time, and so I kind of got inspired by that, and so I just make it a point that I get up and I stretch. I get up, I just move around a little bit, every so often, because it's like as you get older, like when you're young, you can take a bunch of punishment. You can just do a bunch of weird things and your body's like, okay, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? But like as you get older, like things start to hurt because of like the kind of mistreatment of your body, and our bodies aren't necessarily made to just kind of sit there for hours on end. And so you definitely want to just take it and just get, make it a point to just get up and just kind of move around for a bit. Plus, like the just a 10-minute break kind of gives your brain some time to kind of to like absorb the information or information that you've been reading, or just kind of give your brain time to process all the things that you've been doing. Like you'd be surprised how often you're working on a problem really hard for like 2 hours or so, and you're like, I can't make any progress on the problem. And then you're just like, screw it, I'm just gonna go take a walk. And you get up and you take a walk, and in the middle of the walk it's like, oh, I have an idea that I haven't tried, and turns out to be the solution. Um, a lot of people talk about that, like they get they get their best ideas in the bathroom or while they're showering or while they're sleeping and things like that. So it's just your brain is not so focused on the problem. It just kind of allows it to I don't want to pretend like I know the brain too much, but like this is just kind of what I read. Is it just allows it to kind of focus on, not focus, but it allows it to kind of use like other pieces of information in your brain to like make connections and stuff like that. But anyways, long story short, take some time to just take a break, cool out for a little bit. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes. I chose 10 minutes because I chose 10 minutes. Could be 5 minutes. Just take some time, you know what I mean, and just chill out. So I'm like moving around, you can't see me, but I'm like moving around. I'll, like you can do stretches. Like if I didn't have this headset on, I was trying to engage with you guys or with you, I would probably just do like a quick set of something, maybe squats or something like that. And it's just to, it doesn't have to be super intense, but it's just to keep yourself moving, you know what I mean? Anyways, almost like just just one more minute or so, and then we'll just kind of get back at it. And I guess what we will try to figure out is why I am not getting gets. um, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Afterwards, I really don't understand what the problem is. Um, yeah, but yeah, that's probably what the focus will be on for today. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually well, more than likely we'll finish the just like the basic skeleton of the controller. I will start, and then we probably the basic skeleton of the routes and the controllers, and then I will look into if we need models for like relational for like a relational database. Actually, what we will start looking at afterwards is making like just pinging MySQL through using Node, and we'll try to make some progress there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, let me sit down since it's almost time, and then let me go back to OBS, and then so you can see my properly illuminated face again. Uh, yeah, huzzah. So, 40 minutes, and then that's it. Uh, so what's the issue? We are not getting anything here. What is the difference between index and what's the difference between index? So we get the status, it's returning it. All right, let's so here, let's go test, save, and in here we just cut this and see if it's something with the route itself. Wow, that's not what I wanted. Something with the route itself or with the function. Save. And so here, nope, it is something with the function. What is the problem with the function? Oh, what is the problem with the function? Because if I do this, I'm pretty sure something wrong is going to happen. Yep, nothing wrong is going to happen. It's probably whichever comes first. Hmm. Okay. Why is this happening? Uh, I wonder if it has to do with the path. That path thing. Why not? Let's check it out. So, let me go back here. Server. This is the older one, so I don't need that anymore. Um, let's see. One of these. Okay, I don't need that. Routes. Okay, to do server path that requires. Where do we use path? Oh, we used it here. Okay, so it's not the path issue. So that's not the issue. Um, we use it for the view engine so that it will go to the right place. Use static express assets. Yeah, it was for the view engine. It's not for it wasn't for the so what am I doing? Oh, because I called it API. Wait, no, that's not right. That's not the problem. Routes to do, routes to do, and then user. No, that's not the issue. Let me move this. Initialize. Um, wait, what? Oh, whoops. My bad. Um, what What is the issue? I'm really trying to figure out what the problem is. Let me also, because this is causing the error, I think. Nope, it's not causing error. Why is uh, what is causing this problem? So we can get the route here. Let me put this, let me just change this, save, and hmm, hold on, slash can't get slash t. All right, and then hi. All right, why does this work? Why does index work? Oh, whoops. Sorry, I changed the wrong thing. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it at t. Uh, so swap this, change that to that, and then if I reload this, it should, yeah, it doesn't get anything. So why does index work and then the others don't work? That is weird. That is weird. Hold on. Let me go check something. So we have this. Let's go to the routes. Index, express router equal express router. Require that. And then we have a bunch of gets. We have two gets. We have module.exports. Okay. What about to do? To do slash add slash update. So the routes are add, update, and remove. Um, and then we go to controllers, and then controllers are these are the functions. And then it redirects to home. So why does this not work? This is so strange. Okay, so index works fine. Index works fine. These don't work. And I don't know what the difference is between them, why they don't work. Alright, let us copy. Let's remove this and then test. Save. Cool. Slash test. Can't get slash test. Why? Why? What's the what is the problem? Alright, go back to here. Go to where is it? Routes. No, to controllers to do. So it's exports dot exports. What is the issue? So dot to do. Okay, let me go to routes and to do's. So add, post add, update, and then remove. Um, Controller to do add does all this this stuff. Um, Return response 200. Man, I really don't know. I really don't know what the issue is. I really don't know. Alright, let me try with this. I don't know how to. Okay, new request. Just what is it? Localhost 5000 slash test. I don't need to send anything. Not found. Error. Cannot get. Okay, so send hi hole. I really don't know what the issue is. Why is it not found? Oh wow, I spelled connected wrong somehow. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Alright, I've been banging my head on this long enough. I'm gonna go look up some stuff. So, um, I don't know. Node.js, Node Express, REST API. Let's go with that. Um, REST API example. Secure REST API. That's fine. And so so none of this post slash users. Yeah, it's a function. Is that a what you call it? That's an array. Alright, whatever. I might just look up examples. So API.get post put. Okay, cool. Routes. Special routes users request response return response. Software is not ID user parameter. I really don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, yeah, there are a bunch of gets, but it's a bunch of gets on different addresses. So I really don't know what I could possibly be doing wrong. So let's make this that, and then let's change the index. Let's change the index one and see if I can get something. Oh wow, I can't get it. Maybe it's hmm. Okay, so it has to do with what I'm exporting, I'm assuming. So export router index. So it's to do, that's the issue. So export router. Yep. All right, so to server. So to do router. Yep. To do, so use routes slash API index router. And then to do router. Yeah, that's what I was missing. I'm sorry. So it was API to do. That's what I was doing wrong. API to do, and then API to do, and I put it in here wrong. Okay, cool. So that's what I was doing incorrectly. My bad. Well, learned something new today. Alright, so I want to put all this craziness back. Save that. Let me, I can close that. Put all this craziness back. So let me go check something. So I did, let me go back here. So in server, I put these things, so API to do. And then in the routes, in the to do routes, okay, slash, okay. I see what I did wrong. I see. All right, cool. I see what I did wrong. My bad, my bad. I put, yeah, so this would be, I'm just gonna put test for now. Save. Okay, cool. So now I would access this through API slash user slash test. Ha! That. So it was just, I just literally had made the addresses wrong. I just literally made the addresses wrong. I put the whole address, I put all of this here. So in essence, what it was API slash user. What I should have put in the address bar was API slash user slash API slash user slash test, as opposed to what I did. Because here it's API slash user. Um, I don't like the fact that API is repeated here, but I will leave that alone for now. So, okay. Um, let's set up some controllers. And so, um, index also needs controllers as well, even though I don't think that index will actually, I don't think that index will actually stay, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. Um, yeah, I'm going to, because I'm thinking of actually moving these out of the routers, but then I would just like if I made multiple routes, I'd have to put API slash to do on them, so it doesn't make any sense. I'm just kind of thinking how I can avoid it in the future, but to be honest, it was just me not remembering. I thought the problem was in the routes file as opposed to the router. Anyways, good lesson to learn. I'm still new to this, so let me go make sure that I have all of this. Um, so index controller, to do controller. So I'm gonna make files. So we have index controller.js, and then um, to do controller.js, and user controller.js. And so we have all the controllers that we need. Uh, 20 minutes, so halfway done. So we have all the controllers that we need, and we're just going to put all of these, we're just going to put all the functions in the controllers. Simple enough. Um, const um, index controller. Let me see, what was the naming convention that I used? Index. Yeah, index underscore controller. Why index underscore controller? That is so strange. Um, well, I'm going to follow the convention because I'm assuming that I did that convention for a reason. Equal require, and then we shall controllers slash index controller. Cool beans. And then um, we, instead of this, we will go to end. Actually, sorry, yeah. Instead of this, we will do index controller dot index home. I don't remember why, yeah, and it's salty because there's no index, so we will do that. And so uh, exports, or well, let me actually name it first. So index underscore home equals, and this is a const, index underscore home, and then it's like exports, module exports, controllers, index controllers. Yeah, exports dot. Uh-huh. So where is the index controller? So exports dot, wait, exports dot const? Nope. Oh, exports dot, yeah. So delete exports dot index controller. If it automatically makes it a const, and then um, we don't have anything from the model. We don't have anything from the util. Okay, so this is just a bunch of exports. So save, and it's salty. It's not salty again. So cool. And then we are going to do the same thing for these. Oh, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to do the same thing for these. Users. Actually, let me go. Yeah, so for users, so const user controller is equal to require that controllers slash user controller. Cool beans. Sweet beans. I'm gonna take all this, cut that, and then we're gonna say user controller. Cool. Save. Yep, it's going to be upset, and then we are going to do that, and we are going to do exports dot user underscore controller equals, and it will not be salty anymore. It is still salty. Cool. Exports underscore user controller. Um, what is it salty about? This was in user, right? Yeah, so requires user. Oh, I forgot to user controller dot. I guess it would be user test. Excuse me. I put user control instead of user test. Sorry. User test. It should be not salty anymore. It's not salty anymore. Cool. So to do to do. All right, we'll do the same thing here for to-dos. Const to do underscore controller equals require controllers slash to do controller. Am I putting this here? Let me make sure that I am. User controller and then to do, no, wait, oh yeah, it's user controller. Let me see. To do's users. Yep, I'm putting them there. Cool. Grab this stuff. Cuts. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't grab everything. Grab all that stuff. To do controller dot to do underscore test. Save. Yep, you're going to be upset for the moment. That's cool. And then here, exports dot to do underscore test equals that. You should be not salty anymore. And the same thing should work. So this still works. Slash API slash um, users slash test. That still works. And then we swap user with to do, and that still works. Cool. All right. So we have all of that. We have the routes and the controllers, at least the kind of basic functionality. They don't really do anything, but it's just kind of the basic functionality now. So what I want to do for the routes with the time that I have remaining, I guess we won't have too much time to work on the actual API, or sorry, on the actual database. What I want to do is spend some time actually, let me go to to-dos. Um, Making the various routes, and then we can just make empty functions, and then we can start working on that the next time. So, like for instance, router dot post. Um, so instead of test, what we want to do for to do is um, so we want to create a to do. We want to create a to do, and we want to update a to do. So post would be create. I think we have an update. Let me see. Let me go back and check. Thank you. Um, rest. Not rest client. Rest calls. Oh, wait, sorry, it's not rest. Sorry, HTTP calls. Why can't I remember the name of this? Uh, what's it gonna call? Get, post, put, patch, delete. Uh, their HTTP request method. HTTP request methods. Cool. So, post, create, get, read, put, update, replace, patch, update, modify, update, replace, update, modify. So I will make all of these and delete. All right, cool. So for sure, we know, so post, um, I guess new. So actually, hmm, so when I made this before, I made this with a bunch of post requests. Um, but I can go to the same thing. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave it like this. So it's just to-dos, and then the different HTTP methods will get the will call for the different actions. So here it'll be to do, yeah, to do controller dot to do underscore new to do. Um, so we need to be able to make the to-do lists, which we might have to make another route and controller. Uh, yeah. So we have to make another route and a controller. So I am going to make another file here, and I'm going to call it to do list.js, and then const express equals require express, and then const router equals require, whoops, not require, sorry, equals express dot router. We're just going to do this right now. To do list underscore controller equals require, and then it'll be controllers slash to do list controller. Yep, control to controller, and then router dot get. We'll just put test for now, and then to do list underscore controller dot to do list underscore test. Cool. And then module dot exports equals router. Okay, cool. We need to add this to the server. So we need a new, we need to initialize a new router. To do list router equals require um, routes slash to do list. Let me check if this thing is done. Ooh, wow. Still have 5 minutes. Okay, cool. And then we need to app use. I might clean this up a little bit later. I might have to think a little bit harder about what I do. API slash routes. Sorry, not routes. To do list. And to do list router. Cool. Why is it? To do list router. Routes. Routes dot to do list. And then let me see if I'm just making sure if I. Hmm. Okay. And then there's no to-do list. There's no controller. So, sorry. To-do list controller .js. Export exports dot to do list test equals request response, and that's a function, and response dot status 200 dot send to do list test successful. Actually, it should be closing all of these. Cool. And then let me. So that is that. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm going to use the bathroom really quickly. Be right back. back. Huzzah. Okay, so according to my clock thing, I should chill out. Oh, it's about done, but I'm gonna stop it. What I want to do before I stop coding for the day is I want to go through and make all the routes, at least that kind of pops in my head right now, make all the routes for this. So for to-dos. So right now, um, we are just going to make the basic skeleton of all the routes, and we're going to have these functions be empty. Um, so new slash so to do slash let's go with new, right? Um, so this will give us a new to do. Router dot. Let me go back to the methods. So router dot get. No, that's not. We don't want get. We already have a get. In fact, hmm, get method. Okay, yeah. So we already have a get. So put. So let me move this out of the way. To do controller dot to do so modify replace. So what is replace? Replace the method not allowed. Sorry, entire collection. Update. With let's go with replace. Um, router dot patch, and this will be to do. That is not what I wanted to do. Controller dot to do underscore patch modify, and then router dot delete will be um, here to do underscore controller dot to do um, underscore delete. If I will stop pressing the end button. So like for here, we have all of these functions. They don't exist. So if I save them, Node and Express will be quite upset. Let me let me um let me make this get and then just make it an empty function. But we're pretty much going to just make all of these. They're all going to go to empty functions. They're not going to return anything. Or they're not going to do anything. They're just going to be empty. And then I'm just going to keep doing that. So instead of test, we are going to make this get, and I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. Oh boy. Okay, so export dot to do underscore. Oh, thank you, VS Code. So let's start with so we got the get um we new equals just well, let's, since we know it's going to have a request and a response. I forgot to put rest. A request and a response equal fat arrow that. literally it's not gonna do anything. It's just going to sit there. And then we're just gonna keep doing that. Exports. To do. I'm pretty sure there's a faster way of doing this, but I don't know it. To do dot. Um. So we already have the get. We already have the post. Mod. Where is it? Export dot to do underscore. I'm gonna have to go check. This may take a little bit of time. So get post put, which is replace, and then patch, which is modify. So replace equals response. Sorry, request response that that'll be empty as well. Export. All right. This is stupid. I'm gonna copy these. Muscle memory be damned. Okay. So we're gonna change this to modify. We're gonna change this to I say. So we have the get. We have get post replace patch and delete. I don't need the other one. Delete. Save. Yes, so now if we look back at the to-dos, we have a bunch of routes here with the different HTTP methods. They are going to functions, and even though the function and they're going to functions, but the functions don't do anything. So if I were to to do a post request to this, I need to get rid of this. So it's not test, it's just that. If we were to do a post request to this stuff, um, like for instance here, actually I don't want to say because I'm not going to do the post request, but um, do that, it still works, right? So we want to do this to all the stuff. Um, More than likely, what I'm going to do is I'm probably gonna copy this. I'm gonna change this to get or to so it'd be new to-do list since I don't want to sit here and just type this stuff out since that's particularly boring. Uh, so it's 5, right? I forgot to. How do you how do you do this again? Is it? I keep trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, cool. And then escape. Haha. Um, and then so this will be get, this will be post, this will be put, um, this will be patch, and this will be delete. Delete. Cool. And then so get, this is not new. This is to-do list. Let's just go with get. What did I call it in user? Is it user that I did? No, it wasn't user. What did I call it in index? So we're probably not going to do index since index just gets the home. So it's to-do list. Get, I did call it get. So to-do list, to-dos, and user. So get, post. Hmm. Oh, this one is already, okay, sorry. So get new replace modify and delete. Save. So now in the controllers, we're gonna copy this. We're gonna do that. We need to change this from test to get. I'm pretty sure get is not the right thing that I should call it, but whatever for now. Cool. And then we need to change this from this to new. And then copy these. Copy 1, 2, 3. Put some space here so that it's set up properly. So new replace. New replace modify and delete. Cool, so that one works. And so the only thing that we need to change is the only other thing that we need to add is user. So we're gonna need to change this to get. And then we need to get rid of this so that we don't that copy. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. So this is post new. This is patch, which should be. Is it patch? Let me just make sure I'm getting the order right. Put. This is replace, and then this is replace. I just want to keep the order the same, just to, I don't know, I guess this is some me thing. Let's keep it tidy. Replace, this is modify, and this is delete, and then this is delete. And then here we go. Optic blast, copy. No, I don't want to. Yeah, actually, I want to do that. All right, and then change this to get, save, and then, sorry, this will be new, and then we will clear this out. We will copy this. So we have this empty function. Oh, right, and I'm gonna make it a point to go through all of these, make sure they all have. Okay, so get replace. I should call it update. I might go through it and call it. I'm probably gonna call it update because I don't think people use replace. I typed patch. Modify. Oh, okay, that's why it's replace because you have two updates. All right, modify and delete. If anything, we can get rid of one of them and just call them modified. I just call them. All right, so we have all the routes for user, we have all the routes for to-dos, and we have all the routes for to-do list. Just to quickly remind everybody what we just to quickly remind everybody what we were doing or the schema for the database. Right now, let's actually go back there. Right now, the schema for the database, I don't want that. The schema for the database is that we have a users table, we have a to-do list table, and so to-do lists, one to-do list have many to-dos. Um, yeah, one to-do list has many to-dos, and a to one to-do can only be attached to one to-do list, right? Or a to-do can only be attached to a to-do list. And then we have a to-do reference table, and in essence, it's just there so that when a to-do is created, the to-do is reference the to-do there is something that links the to-do to the to-do list. So the to-do list so the to-do table doesn't have to explicitly know. It's something to do it's to do with normalization. Um, and then every time we make a to-do list, we it gets its own table of to-dos. So, like say for instance, we make a to-do list for groceries. It will create its own table, and then it will create its own table. Um, yeah, it will create its own table and fill it with to-dos. And so when the to-do list gets deleted, the to-do list gets deleted. I'm starting to wonder what we need a reference for. Oh, for the table name. For the to-do list gets deleted, the reference in the reference table gets deleted, and then the table with the to-do gets deleted. And yeah, so that's the idea. Um, so I am going to take a bit of a, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So the next coding session we do, will be just me. Sorry, the next coding session we do will be me, really starting to work with Node and MySQL. More than likely, we will actually just write the SQL statements into Node. I do want to get to. I don't know exactly what the best practice is for working with relational databases inside of an API. So we will learn that together. But that is in essence what I want to do right now, which will have us filling out all of these. Where are they? Having us fill out all of these functions that are empty right now. I'm pretty sure if I were to try and ping this, actually, let me go here because I don't need to. I think I closed it. But yeah, here. So, new request. So, localhost 5000 slash API slash to do, and we are going to do a post request. And I don't need to send it anything. Please waiting. Oh, it's just gonna hang it because it's not returning anything. Um, yeah, it's just gonna hang. So, I wonder if I hope that. Oh wow. Oh, close. That's a good thing. Well, I don't know. I don't think I should have done that. Either way, well, oh well. Something bad will happen and then I'll learn. Anyhow, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna still be here. I'm just gonna get up and move around, you know. Uh, yeah. I'm just gonna get. Actually, let me close this. So I don't really have a topic that I wanted to talk about. I guess I'll just leave that up. I don't really have a topic I want to talk about. Um, I do have I guess there's a few things I could talk about. Um, Give me a second. Just making sure. Yeah, that's cool. Sorry. Um, there's a few things I could talk about. Um, is there anything I could? What is there that I could talk about? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to keep it in the realm of my experience, so that people can actually benefit from my experience. I don't want to start saying, "Oh, this is how you're supposed to do things." One, when it's not, and two, when I don't necessarily have the experience to say that. Like I just want to be like, "Oh, this is what I learned from the stupid mistakes that I did." You know. Uh, so what's kind of been, I guess, ringing around in my head is, I guess the state of as I said, I didn't want to talk about, but I guess it's somewhat a combination of the state of the industry, how the industry is or at least how recruiting is focusing a lot on getting senior developers, and how it's just so hard to get a job as a junior developer. And I want to kind of talk about that through this one very specific experience I had, where in essence I wasn't listing my entire experience, and that made it difficult for me. That made it difficult for me to find a job. So in essence, what was happening is I was being viewed as a junior because I didn't have that many years of experience. My resume was saying that I didn't have that many years of experience because I didn't know I could actually, or not that I didn't know, I just didn't think about adding a lot of the freelance work that I did from yesterdecade. And so I actually ended up being viewed as a person with 1 year experience when I had significantly more than that, you know. And it's kind of weird because I called myself a junior when I was working. I called myself a junior. I was very specific about that. I called myself a junior, and um, and I don't want to say I acted like a junior, like I acted like somebody who knew how to code. But it's a really weird experience, and I feel like it's definitely made me appreciate the struggle of being a junior engineer from a recruiting standpoint. um it was always very weird for me because I always called myself a junior, but I never felt like a junior. I never felt like I had a hard time figuring things out, which of course that comes from the fact that I had been coding for so long. Like I'll explain the story. I'll explain the story. Pretty much, like I said, this will kind of be me talking about like the somewhat unique understanding of being a junior now, because in essence, up until a couple of months ago, I was a junior. I was a junior on paper, or on the paper that I was sending out to people. But I'm just, like I said, I'm standing. Well, I'm standing. I'm just moving around. Like you can't see me. Again, I don't want you guys just staring at my belly button. I feel like that's kind of weird. you know. Like if I had a better camera, then I would just kind of set it to the camera. And even then, like my room is not necessarily set up for me to be moving around. Like right behind me is my bed, and so I'd have to kind of get my chair out of the way and so on and so forth. I might do that, you know. And plus my room's kind of messy. Well, I guess that doesn't matter either. Everybody's room's messy, or some weird form of messy. I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure out. I'll figure this out. Um, I'll figure this out. Like, I guess if I had a better like mic setup or something, I'd be more comfortable. I'd be more comfortable like moving away from the computer and doing stuff like you can see me struggle to do exercises and stuff like that. Well, let me sit down and talk about this rather unique experience that I have. Um, silly but unique experience that I have. Where is it? Oh, nope. Um, webcam. Okay, cool. Um, right. So, what you call it? Um, yeah. So, all right. I guess, let me give you some backstory. So, I went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, and I went for web design and interactive media. I wanted to be a game developer. Um, I think the issue was I couldn't draw, and you needed to have drawing experience. You had to have to be able to draw, and so I was just like, oh, what about so I was asking around, what else can I do while I figure out how to get around this problem? And they're like, oh, you could do multimedia, you could do multimedia something. That's what it was called at the time. In essence, what the degree that I ended up getting was web design and interactive media, right? Um, is it web? Yeah, web design and interactive media. That's the degree I ended up getting, which is a web design degree. So more or less UI UX, but more focused on but focused more on code. Web design, I don't know if people remember what. I guess it would be front end development. That's kind of what I call it now. It's just front end development. That's what I feel like this is what, or front end development, front end engineering. I feel like that's kind of what web design, or I guess web design. I don't know. I don't know. In my head, it's front end engineering, right? I don't know exactly how that works now. I know like you still have the job title web engineer, web developer and stuff like that. I it's all confusing. Anyhow, I got that degree. During that degree, I did a fair amount of freelance work, right? I freelanced for a few people. Some of them was because of school. School was like you have to take on a freelance, you have to take on a freelance a client to complete the degree, and so I did. So it was for class. I made interesting projects. Like one of the projects I made was one of the clients was um I decided that I was well I made a website that the front end was in Flash and the back end was PHP, and the database was MySQL. So I did that. It was fun. It was a fun project. It was like what we do with React now, except you're doing it in Flash, and people hated Flash, but whatever. But you know, that's what we did. What else? But yeah, like I did a fair amount of freelance work. I did some work for a friend for a while. To be fair, it was just a really slow project. You know, I'll say it was mostly my fault. It was a slow project. But did freelance, did a fair amount of freelance, and then I decided to go back to school for a proper degree, right? And in my head, the way I thought about it is once I graduated, which was a fair amount of years later, once I graduated, um, I was a junior, I just got out of school. I was a junior. I more or less had just not thought about the freelance work. Like I never included them in my resume ever, and I had a fair amount of freelance experience, like a fair amount of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had gotten some experience while at school as well, but for the most part, I never included any of my freelance experience. None of it. Like, I would do what most juniors do, which was, okay, I may have this little bit of experience. I may have an internship. I didn't personally do internships, um, but I may have some internships. And what else? I may have some internships and I have projects, right? And so I had a bunch of things. I had a bunch of projects, right? And projects are like, this is getting into the realm of out of my wheelhouse. So I don't want to say yes, this is a thing, and no, this is not a thing. But every time I talk to somebody, there's always this kind of thing where they look down on projects unless it's like a big thing, you know what I mean? Like you may have a project, but the project was some app with like 100,000 users or something great, or 10,000 users, or even 1,000 users, 1,000 to 10,000 users, and then at that point it's like a big deal, right? Otherwise, I don't care. They don't care about what's under projects, like unless that it somehow applies to the job, like, and a lot of times the thing is projects aren't listed without dates, and so yeah, projects aren't listed without dates, and so um it just doesn't get thought of as experience. I mean, how can they even know how much time you took, but from my understanding, and again, I don't want to say this is true or this is completely true, this is completely accurate, this is completely inaccurate, but from my understanding, unless the project hits particular bells specifically with the job description or specifically with the job, they don't matter, who cares, right? Again, if a recruiter tells you otherwise and they give you good reason, well, I don't want to say give good. If a recruiter tells you otherwise, then cool. Like, just this is from what I heard. Um, but I did that. That's what I did. I had my little bit of experience here and there, and I had a whole list of projects. You know what I mean? Again, my freelance experience is not was not on my resume. Um, and that's how I job hunted. And job hunting was hard, like every other junior. Like job hunting was ridiculously hard. Um, it would always come down to, oh, you don't have enough experience, and you get caught in a catch-22, right? How do you get experience if you can only get experience at a job, or how do you get experience if you can only get experience at a job and a job is not willing to hire you, right? Catch-22, right? How do you get that? And I was in that loop for a long time. Like, thankfully, I'd found something, and to be honest, I found something mostly because of the connections I had here. I ended up having to come back to Jamaica to find a job. Um, that yeah, that's the whole thing. But I came to Jamaica to find a job, and I ended up taking a job. Um, it wasn't necessarily the best thing. I mean, what it kind of evolved into was great, but I don't want to go into that story too much, but I ended up getting a job, through the grace of God. Let's go with that. Like, I would almost go as far as to say I had no business getting a job, right? I worked that job for a year, and then I left. My intention was to, well, regardless of my intention, the next year the pandemic happened. I wasn't working, and you know, like big economic meltdown. Everything stopped. Everything stopped, and then people were just hemorrhaging employees. They were just like, we can't afford to pay you anymore. Um, so, um, so as everybody knows, hiring is significantly harder now. Well, I don't know about now, but definitely the first 6 to 8 months of the pandemic, like proper, like I think it would have been March or April to the end of the year. Hiring was just hard. It was just hard. People were seeing layoffs left and right, and this is in this industry. This isn't in the tech industry. It's not necessarily even in just in is this is not just in general. This is not the job market in general. Definitely the tech industry. There were just layoffs everywhere. Like every couple of weeks you would hear a big company just like, sorry, we have to lay off a bunch of people. And it eventually filled the job market with seniors. And, you know, everybody started picking up seniors, right? Um, this During this entire time, again, I'm still looking for. Well, I started looking for a job again. I think in June or July, because I had a whole other thing that I had planned to do, and then the pandemic happened, and I kind of just took a couple of months off. Mostly everybody went online, and I just started to network and to just be a part of the tech community online. Um, what else would I say? But yeah, like I said, this entire time, my resume was one thing, right? My resume had the 1 year of experience, and I had the 1 year of experience and a little bit of experience that I had previously. Um, some as not even necessarily coding. I did like sysadmin work. But yeah, that was it. You know what I mean? Just the, just those, right? And job hunting was hard. It was extremely difficult. Like nobody would give me the time of day. You know what I mean? It was a pain, like I have I was pretty there were a few times where I was pretty upset, you know, as you are as you do when you're job hunting for a while, and everybody says one of two things. Oh, you don't have enough. You get three different emails. You either get the email with specific feedback that says you don't have enough experience, or you get an email to say that your resume is impressive, but we're not going to move forward with you, or you get a generic email. you know Neither of these things are great, because in essence they're all rejections, and you just don't understand why. Like, what the hell do I need? In fact, please tell me what I need so I can go get it outside of experience, because this is what I'm trying to find, right? Um, Fast forward, and I mean this is along with the job hunting and not being able to find anything and being frustrated. Fast forward to maybe 3 months ago or 4 months ago. I don't remember when it happened. Um, During this time, I would ask people periodically to review my resume, um, because there was something wrong, right? Like I'm not getting any callbacks. Why? Why am I not getting any callbacks? Something must be wrong with my resume. And I mean, to be fair, something is wrong with the resume a lot of the times if you're not getting callbacks. What people don't really tell you is sometimes one of the problems is the thing that's wrong with your resume is that you don't have enough experience and you just can't get past that barrier. And how do you solve that problem, right? Uh, anyways, anyhow, um, uh, I spoke to this young lady from Shopify. I don't remember her name. I'd have to go on Twitter to look it up, but spoke to this young lady from Shopify, and she said, "Hey, you should, let me review your resume." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem, thank you, I'd really appreciate it." Like anytime somebody asked to review my resume, I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, sure, yeah, yeah, sure, no problem," and I gave it to them. Oh, I also ended up, I also ended up. Actually, that doesn't matter. But yeah, sure. Review my resume, please, please. Anything that can help me, And she reviewed my resume, and at the time, I think in an attempt to try and put more experience on my resume and be like, oh, it's not one. I have 2 years of experience. I did freelance. She was like, you should do more freelance. I mean, you should, sorry, do more freelance. You should add more freelance experience. And I was like, what other freelance experience? I don't have any other freelance experience. Like I more or less purged the Art Institute part of my journey. I just it like I went there, there was a rubber stamp. I can't think of something. Um but I went there. That's it pretty much. I have a degree. That's the only proof that I have that I went there. Place doesn't even exist anymore. Right? Um and I was just like, what freelance, whatever, you know what, I'll take her up on it, and I'll start thinking about what's freelance, and I was just like, well, I guess I could say, I guess I did this as freelance, and then I guess I did this, and then I guess I did this, and then I realized that there were a bunch of projects that I did as freelance, and so I put them all down on my resume, and I was having a hard time putting them down. And then what I ended up doing was was writing, what you call it? I was just writing it all under like freelance. It was like, oh, as a freelancer, another person had reviewed my resume and gave me that suggestion because I literally had listed them out as separate jobs, and so I just wrote freelance for the time period, which was like a significant amount of time. It was like 5 years, So I had a bunch of freelance jobs over the course of 5 years, and then I would just refer to specific ones. And so I have the or I would refer to specific achievements in them, which more or less would kind of discuss like the project for the most part, and then maybe and if it was a big enough project, there would be a specific thing about the project, so it'd be like 2 bullets for per project. It would be 1 bullet per project, and if the project required 2 bullets, or there was something significant about the project that I could put another bullet in, I would do that. And then I listed them all specifically on my GitHub, sorry, on my LinkedIn. But yeah, eventually I got to this point where I had a resume where I mean, this is what my resume looks like now. Um, my last work that I did, um, another piece of work that I did, as a contractor, and then the how much odd years of experience with the various bullets, and it's still a 1 page resume. And then I was able to put my two my two sorry, my 2 degrees that I'd gotten on my resume, and now I'm getting a bunch of callbacks, you know. I'm getting a bunch of callbacks, even though I kind of call myself a mid-level. I feel like I'm not senior. I don't think I've done the things as a senior level engineer. I do have the years of experience to call myself a senior. I've spoken to a few people, and a few people have referred to me as like, according to your years of experience, the amount of how long you've been doing this, you look like a senior engineer. I would have to ask you more questions to find out, but you look like a senior engineer. So why do I tell this story? Um, I tell this story mainly because it really sucks right now to be a junior engineer. And I was like the worst type of junior engineer. I was a junior engineer in, and I mean, it's not like I'm not still in, so I'm in Jamaica, and if you were to, all right, in the United States, looking for a job in the United States is you go to LinkedIn, you go to Indeed, you go to all these different places and you find jobs, right? Like there's always jobs there. I don't think there will ever be a point in human history. I don't think there'll ever be a point in the future where LinkedIn simply has no dev jobs. Like you can't just type software engineer and get bombarded by jobs. There's jobs everywhere, right? Um, in Jamaica, it's not as simple. Like we have one thing I think is Caribbean jobs, um, .com, where that's where you can find jobs in Jamaica, but they're not nearly as plentiful. They're not nearly as plentiful. So I started looking for jobs overseas, remote. Well, I want to move out. I want to move to another country, but you know, because of the pandemic, and it was like, okay, let me let me at least just do remote, right? And even then, like, I couldn't get anybody to even pay attention to me. Um, anyways, the point I'm saying is it's really hard being a junior, and I say this, and I'm not even talking about just in general, where it's like, oh, you have all of these challenges as a junior. Like, particularly now, you know, like where last year you in essence had hundreds of senior engineers suddenly looking for work, and then you have all these other companies that still are like either they're hiring or whatever, and they're like, oh, we can just scoop up all of these senior engineers, and then the junior engineers are just like, yo, we just need an opportunity, and there's a lot of them still, and it's like we just need an opportunity, and they're just not getting they're just not getting the time of day. You know what I mean? Like there's a guy, I think it's Chuck Smith. I hope I got his last name right. He's been looking for a job for a long time, and he works really hard, like really hard. He works really hard, and he just recently got a job. Like, I'm happy for him because he was looking for a while, and he was kind of in the same experience. He's in the same boat as, I don't want to say he's in the same boat as me, but he's been coding on his own as a hobby for years. But he doesn't have like a job. He didn't have like industry experience. If I guess that's the best way of putting it. He didn't have industry experience, and he, like every other people that look at their resume and is like, oh, you don't have industry experience or you don't have as much industry experience, you're a junior. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Like he was having a hard time. And I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because like I said, on paper, literally on paper, I was a junior up until 3 months ago. Like I wrote an article about it because it felt so silly to me. Like, and I mean, I had that freelance experience for years, and I just never referred to it for years. So I literally wrote an article saying, I got 3 years of experience in 30 seconds. Thanks, Mega Shake. It's just, for people who know Nutty Professor, like that joke. I just want to make that joke, but I, it's ridiculously hard to get hired as a junior. Like I wish I wish there was more I could do. Um, like there's several suggestions that I heard that I think that are excellent. Taylor, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. Taylor Denson, on Twitter. He's a recruiter and he's very vocal about, you know, about recruiting, about the processes, about the way companies are and how they treat, and just recruiting, just the nature of recruiting in general. And excuse me, one of the things that he said, which I completely and totally agree with, is you is like list the projects that you do. Don't list them as project. Well, I don't want to say don't list them as projects, but list your projects that you do as experience and give it a time, So say for instance you worked on something for 6 months. Say you have 6 months of experience in the technologies that you have, because you have 6 months of experience in the technologies that you've been working with, oh, in the project, that in the technologies that you were working with, you know, and it's like there you have to do so many things to get around this experience barrier, because for the most part, if people don't see you have a year or two of experience, and I mean, there's still other things that you have to get around. So like I'm doing this, being a learning backend engineering. I still have a fair amount of years of experience. I have a lot of years of, well, I have a fair amount of years of experience. I don't think I said when I went to when I graduated Art Institute. I graduated in 2012, and year of my first year of freelancing started in 2010. So on paper, I have a whole lot of years of experience. Um, what else did I want to say? Uh, but like, I mean, there's other barriers that you have to get around, but that's a little bit more normal for jobs, where it's just like, oh, you don't have this tool, I can't hire you because I need somebody with this tool to get that job, to do this job. And that becomes that's like more reasonable, because like again, for me, I don't know if I mentioned this, but most of my experience, I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but most of my experience is front end. And I mean, I came from a web design background, right? So most of my experience is front end. Like I have some full stack experience, but most of it is front end. You know what I mean? This literally the reason why I'm streaming, you know? What did I want to say? Most of my experience is front end. Like, if I were to try and get a back end engineering job, even with the little experience in that I have, it wouldn't be unreasonable for them to say, hey, you don't have enough experience in the things that we need you to do. And that's fine. But like, oh, that's my phone. I don't know, like it's a problem. I've talked to a bunch of people about it, and it's a clear problem. Like I wish I had a better solution. Like as far as I can tell, the solution to the problem, like there's things you can do, like again the suggestion of, like, if you do projects, list that as experience, like anything you do, any form of coding that you do, if you do open source, if you contribute to open source, list that as years or as time experience, right? So you write out the project and you can say you're self-employed because technically you are, whatever. Like list those things as experience, and list your achievements as you would, or like if you were working, so like Did you write a module that had this amount of impact on the project? Did you manage something that had this amount of impact on the project? You write that as experience. You know what I mean? But it all kind of circumvents this. You're just trying to circumvent this problem that if you don't have years of experience, for the most part, it feels like, and it's not actually, or I don't want to say it's not actually true, but it feels like it, and it feels like it constantly. If you literally don't have years of experience on your resume, or if your resume doesn't look a certain way, like people don't give a shit, man. Like it just really feels like that, and I really wish I could do something to help, honestly. Like I can't. It's a problem that I want to tackle, but I mean, I'm trying to get a job myself, you know what I mean? Like I started job hunting proper within the last couple of weeks, you know, after, I don't even think it was 2 months because a bunch of other things happened and I thought I was in a position to get something and it didn't work out, you know. Um, but I started job hunting proper in within the last couple of weeks, and like where my hit percentage in terms of getting callbacks or something, my where my hit percentage was like 0.001. Like I think I've sent out a couple of resumes, maybe not even so much, 10, 15, 20. I don't even think so much, but I get like half of that I'm getting callbacks on. You know what I mean? And like to come from a year plus, like sending resumes out and having people approach me and literally, I don't want to say I literally did everything because I feel like I still could have done more. I feel like if I explained like I feel like if I explained the amount of networking and stuff that I did, I feel like people are like, okay, yeah, you did a fair amount. Like, I don't want to pretend that I did like absolutely everything I possibly could, but I feel like I did a fair amount, you know? And I don't know. I don't know. Again, this whole thing is just I like for juniors, for people who are just trying to break into the industry. I feel it. I feel it for you guys. Uh, I, you know, I, I wish I could do. I wish I could do more. I guess I can help. I can review resumes. I can give you some advice here and there. I mean, I wish I could do more in a systemic way, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like reviewing people juniors' resumes and giving them advice and kind of mentoring them in that way is great and all, but it doesn't like I can't I can't be I don't think I can, at least, like if I literally were to get up right now and be like, I want to be the change where juniors can get a job significantly easier as long as they know how to code. You know what I mean? I can't get up and do that tomorrow. I don't even know what that would look like. And I think it's an important problem for us to, and it's a problem that I want to deal with. I want to do something about, like I guess tech is hiring is a part of that in a sense. A lot of juniors have, a lot of people who are junior have kind of reached out and were just like, well, thank you so much for this. It really helps my job search. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because like I feel for people who are going through this right now. Like I really do, and I feel like I feel for it uniquely because I was literally in that position all of a couple of months ago. Like I was literally in the same position. Literally, like there'll be days where I'm just like, yo, I'm not getting out of bed today. I don't want to do the job search thing today. And it's because I would get opportunities and then the opportunities would fall through my fingers through no fault of my own. Like during that time, I think I got maybe two or three interviews where I didn't do well because I didn't get a job, but I didn't do well. But I was satisfied with everything that I did in that interview. Where it's just like, yo, I didn't get the job, but I felt good about not getting. This is the strangest thing, right? Like it was a good loss, right? Like it was a good loss to play too much Street Fighter, but it was a good loss. You know what I mean? Like I I said everything that I possibly could have said, and their reasoning for not choosing me was a reason that I would have picked myself. you know, Looking at me, like if I were to be completely objective, you know. But I only had like one of that in maybe 9 months of looking, like one of that. So I guess this is somewhat of a rant about, I guess it's somewhat a rant about, uh, like, it sucks being a junior right now. Um, I'll help wherever I can, I'll point you in the right direction too, like, I'll help where I can. I help where I can, where I'll help where I can because this shit sucks. Like, I want to use much stronger language, and I mean, I'm already cursing. I want to use much stronger language. This shit sucks. It it sucks, and I definitely. I guess I will end with I feel like we're really failing juniors, and I'm not going to pretend that people aren't doing their part. People are significantly doing their part. They're doing more than I am. Like they really are. But this barrier is stupid. And I mean, there's people are significantly more prepared to get a job than I am, you know, like significantly more prepared. Like I said, like I kind of want to be salty. I guess I could be salty that Chuck got a job before I did, but Chuck works hard. He works hard. And he deserves what he got. He deserves it. He worked hard for it. Like he grinded for that job. You know what I mean? And he is one of many people going through the exact same crap. And it is dumb. We we can produce a bunch of people. We can get people to learn how to write code without a problem, but we there is no effective way, there's no pipeline to get them into jobs and get them working, you know. When a lot of the times these people a lot I don't want to say these people a lot of the times people are choosing tech to try and better their situation. And the only thing we can do is just say, hey, keep at it. You know what I mean? As opposed to go there. You go there, you're guaranteed a job. As long as you walk in with these credentials, you're guaranteed a job. And it's just stupid. It's just stupid. And again, I don't want to because I don't know the entire tech industry, so I could literally be ranting about something that already has a solution, and just my little bubble doesn't know, or I don't know. But I just see people stress about it all the time, and is just so stupidly hard. It's just so stupidly hard, and I don't understand why it's so stupidly hard. You know what I mean? Like, shit, it's so stupidly hard for people in a country with a strong tech industry. Much less here, where it's harder to find the opportunities. Like, there's opportunities everywhere. They're just not for you. Why? Why? Anyhow, I guess that's my thing, you know. By the way, if you watch this and by the way, if you watch this and you have a solution or you propose a solution or whatever, like there's something that I might have missed, please, I'd love to tell a bunch of other people about it. It like we need to. We need to. I don't say this often, to be quite honest with you. I don't say this often, but we really need to do better. We really need to do better. Like every time I think about this thing as a problem, I just get mad because I don't see why it should be a problem in the first place, but it is. It clearly is, you know, and more people are suffering from this than are not, you know. It just like it's just dumb. It's just dumb. We need to do something about this. We need to do something about this. But yeah, I guess impromptu discussion. Um, uh, thanks for watching. I guess I'll it's official outro. I guess I'll sum up the stream. So um so today, thankfully, there wasn't a lot of spinning of wheels today. So we kind of went through a little bit more the basics of API design. Um, this is mostly me just kind of getting back into remembering how to do things in Node, and I kind of just used my a past project to kind of remember. I probably have to go through. I like there's some code that I wrote that I don't completely understand why it does the things it does. I just know it works, and I don't think I don't want to say I don't think that's not a good practice. You want to have a good idea of why every single piece of code you write works, or why it works the way it works, so that when things break, like for instance, um, I spent maybe 10, 15 minutes trying to figure out why my routes weren't working properly, and I did not realize that I put the addresses twice. And so in effect, I was doubling the address, or I put the addresses twice, and then when I was trying to get to them, I was putting in the wrong thing. When I realized that, I just cut it out, and that was done. You know, but I'll probably spend a little bit of time, or I might spend time on my own, kind of going through the code, and yeah, kind of going through the code, and what you call it, going through the code and just making sure I know ev- everything about what's going on. I need to figure out the body parser warning or the deprecation thing. I want to figure that out. Just so I can get rid of it. I know there's something to do with body parser. I just need to learn more about it. But yeah, we have all the routes set up. Pretty much, we have all the HTTP methods set up. And we're probably going to use all of them. But the next stream will probably be focusing on really messing with MySQL, and so in essence sending requests through the API, and then the API will construct like a SQL query and send it to MySQL, and then we'll get a response back, and it'll be that back and forth. Probably be starting that. Um, yeah, and then hopefully that will go on for a couple of sessions, and then by that time we'll have like the API doing exactly how we want the app to do to work. And then after that, we can make a React front end, and then we would have a completed full stack app, and then we can start thinking about expanding it, or just launching it or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the stream today. Thank you for watching me for watching it. Thank you for kind of watching me go through the code. Um, Thank you for listening to my rant, because to be honest, it kind of ended up as being a rant. Um, yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Um, I guess I haven't been mentioning this. So I have a YouTube channel. It's not ChadRStewart like I've been saying in the other videos or in the other streams. It's actually just Chad Stewart. It has the same face. It has the same logo or face or whatever as my Twitch channel. But I would really appreciate you give that channel you subscribing to the YouTube channel. Um, I would really appreciate you following here. What else? The VOD for this stream goes on the YouTube channel as soon as possible, more or less. So you can catch it there with chapters and everything, so it's easier to kind of navigate through. Um, and I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'll eventually start kind of, I guess it'll be somewhat closer to the discussions thing, where I'll just kind of put my thoughts onto tape, I guess onto tape. I'll put my thoughts into video, and talk about like stuff that's interesting to me, you know. Um, yeah, that's about it. One other thing, I still want to do, like, I haven't put as much effort into it. We talked about asking the question of what is impact, and I haven't put as much time into to getting that. So I want to do a panel. I haven't put as much time into that, but I just for people who are interested, that is something that I want to do, because I really want to kind of get to the bottom. I don't want to say get to the bottom of it, because I don't want to promise that we do, but I want to have that discussion, because I feel like it's something that's important that needs to be talked about, that I don't think people talk about a lot. But yeah, anyways, that's something that's, I guess, in the pipeline for now. Um, it's in the forefront of my mind, so I'm gonna try and work on it. It's really just about getting panelists and then just organizing the Twitter space. It probably is gonna more likely be a Twitter space. But yeah, that's about it again. Thank you very much for watching, and you guys have a good one.